Hey everyone, welcome to this special explainer. Today, we're literally diving into something that is absolutely mind-bending. We are going to explore ancient texts and prophecies that, well, they eerily seem to have a crystal clear picture of our modern world. Today, we are unpacking the entire concept of Kali Yuga.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever been just doom scrolling through the daily headlines and felt like, wow, society is kind of fracturing right now? Like greed, environmental collapse, and just this massive breakdown of human connection are totally off the charts. Well, believe it or not, thousands of years ago, ancient Hindu texts actually predicted this exact type of societal decay. And today, we're going to look at just how spot on those predictions really were.
Okay, let's step back and look at the big picture for a second. According to Hindu cosmology, time isn't just a straight line, it's cyclical. It's like a giant cosmic wheel divided into four vast eras, or yugas. You start out with Satya Yuga, which is this golden era of absolute truth. Then you move into Treta Yuga, followed by Dwapar Yuga. And finally, the wheel turns to the fourth and current era. That's Kali Yuga, which often translates to the era of darkness or conflict. And yep, you guessed it, that is exactly where we find ourselves right now.
Now, brace yourselves, because the scale of this is just wild. 432,000. According to ancient texts like the Bhagavad Gita and the Puranas, that number right there is the staggering total duration of Kali Yuga. And we are talking about human years here. To put that into perspective, the sheer scale of this timeline is honestly kind of hard to wrap your head around. Think about it. On one hand, you have that massive 432,000-year lifespan. But on the other hand, modern scholars calculate that Kali Yuga actually began around 3102 BC. Do the math, and that means only about 5,126 years have actually passed. I mean, we are barely scratching the surface here. This massive era of darkness, it has literally just begun.
Section 2. The Fall of Society. 20 bitter truths of Kali Yuga synthesized.
So what exactly goes down during this huge stretch of time? Well, the ancient scriptures actually lay out roughly 20 bitter truths about Kali Yuga. And honestly, they all point to these massive, interconnected structural collapses in our society. The very first major theme is severe moral and spiritual decay. The text explicitly warned that true spiritual practice gets entirely replaced by pure hypocrisy. It says people are going to chase wealth at the absolute expense of ethics and truth. You'll see fake gurus rising up, totally exploiting the masses just to line their own pockets. And on top of all that, overall human health and lifespans will drastically decrease due to disease. And the spiritual decay doesn't just stay in the temples or the mind. It inevitably bleeds right into the family unit. These ancient texts vividly describe a modern obsession with vanity over genuine connection. It's like they're talking about today's world, where marriages become mere financial or social transactions without actual devotion. The scriptures state that people will literally spend millions throwing lavish parties just to show off to total strangers, while at the exact same time completely neglecting their own aging parents. Siblings become bitter enemies fighting over inheritances, and basic humanity just gets entirely sidelined by greed and violence. Kinda hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? But it gets even crazier, because this breakdown extends way beyond human relationships and spills right into our physical world. This is honestly perhaps the most chillingly accurate prediction of them all: environmental collapse. We're talking ancient scriptures warning of unpredictable weather, intensely unnatural heat waves, constant droughts, and failing agriculture where trees become totally barren and cattle literally stop providing nourishment. Thousands of years ago, they were describing the exact symptoms of the climate crisis that we're reading about in our news feeds right this very second.
Section 3. Ancient Wisdom for Modern Survival. Timeless Solutions from Ravana and Sri Krishna.
Okay, I know taking all of that in can feel a bit heavy, maybe even overwhelming. But here is the good news. The exact same scriptures that predicted all this chaos also handed us the toolkit to survive it. First up, we look at some rather unexpected wisdom from Ravana. Now, despite being the main antagonist of the Ramayana, he was actually considered a brilliant scholar. His advice? As the quote says, "Never underestimate your enemy. I considered the Vanarsena small, and it was my greatest mistake." He basically warned that arrogance is a fatal flaw in this era. He also advised that you should execute your good deeds instantly and keep your deepest secrets strictly to yourself because, well, betrayal is a pretty common occurrence in Kali Yuga.
Ultimately, the absolutely crucial goal here is protecting our own peace of mind. Sri Krishna provided a beautifully simple four-step remedy for anyone trying to navigate this chaotic era. Number 1, stubbornly walk the path of truth, even when deceit just seems so much easier. Number 2, practice charity, which means giving to those who genuinely cannot repay you. Number 3, ground yourself daily through meditation and chanting to protect your mind from all the noise. And number 4, maintain strict self-control over your desire for wealth, making sure your possessions don't end up possessing you.
Which brings us to a final, lingering thought. The era of Kali Yuga might be dark, and those ancient predictions might mirror our modern reality a little too perfectly for comfort. But at the end of the day, the power of choice remains entirely yours. Armed with this incredible, timeless wisdom, in a world that feels completely driven by chaos and greed, which path will you choose to walk? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope it gave you something powerful to think about, and I'll catch you next time.